Hello beautiful souls and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to those of you who are returning to my channel. I hope you are excited about this pick a card reading. We'll be channeling the subject of your psychic abilities by communication with your higher selves, with your galactic team, with your spirit guides. We'll see what they have to tell you about your psychic development. We're always connecting to the highest energy possible, even when we receive the blunt truth. So I'm just letting you know you always should set this intention, as I do before I prepare for my readings. We're always tapping into the highest source of pure, true information. So we'll be talking about your psychic development journey, as I mentioned. This will also resonate with your cosmic journey. Messages about that may come through. And those of you who resonate with being starseeds or, cosmic children, you may really feel activated by this reading. But even if you don't label yourself as any of this, this can be a reading that will open you up to a more expanded aspect of your consciousness, a more galactic aspect of your consciousness. It can help you unfold yourself wider. So if you'd like to do that, you can stick around and watch further. So I think that's all I have for the intro, for the explanation of the pick a card. Now let's get into the piles. Pile number 1 is the Tarot of the Mystic Spiral, represented by the black tourmaline. So here it is. It's very beautiful and very cleansing. I chose darker crystals intentionally because they absorb all of the unnecessary energy. They can be a bit intense, so just making sure you know that. But they're very good for protection, purification, cleansing. So pile number 2, you guys, are the Arcanum Tarot, represented by the snowflake obsidian. Here we go. And pile number 3, you guys, are the Heaven and Earth Tarot, but I don't know the name of this crystal, so you just have to enjoy its look. Okay, so that's it. You can go into... Oh, focus please. Okay, you can go into the timestamps. They are in the description box and the comment section, so wherever you go, just click on your pile and I'll see you in your reading. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. So let's get into it. Let's see, where are you on your development journey? I see a lot of the water element playing a role in your energy bodies. The essence, the principles, the characteristics of the water element working in your energy bodies, meaning you're very saturated with feminine influence, subconscious habits, a lot of sub and unconscious energy is playing out currently in your energy body, which can feel like you're somehow in the unknown. You can feel like a lot of things are confusing right now, but I'm seeing how this water that is flowing in your etheric bodies is supposed to... you will get rid of it eventually. It's supposed to come out. But something has been stirred up within you recently, I feel, that really pulled you in that unknown, unconscious territory where you're quite influenced by your subconscious. How do I explain it? You may do things that you don't know exactly why you do them. You're not sure what results you're trying to get out of your actions. You're just going with the flow, but this flow is not the flow that we usually talk about in spirituality. Go with the flow. It's something you're supposed to understand. So I don't know about dreams, I don't know about vivid dreams, but I feel like I'm almost feeling like that moment when you wake up in sweat and you don't remember what you dreamt about, but you just feel intense energy through your body. That's the vibe I'm getting. There is a lot of intensity in the body, in the energy bodies, excuse me. And you may feel heavier than usual as well. But what is going on actually? Psychically. Freedom and joy. You guys are supposed to come into the light. You're supposed to come into a stage of illumination when it comes to your psychic experiences. Some of you are supposed to finally understand what you're going through, translate for yourselves, but I feel like many of you are still in denial. There is an energy of denial here. Oopsie, not this deck. This one. I think you're too much in absorption mode and you guys are soaking up a lot from your environment and a lot from the people around you. I don't know, but I feel like you haven't been consistent with setting up spiritual boundaries, working on that, meditating to create these spiritual boundaries. House of learning, spirit guides, confirmation, and great lessons. Yeah, as I said, you're meant to finally translate the data, to define the experience, to illuminate the unconscious, and to pull memories. Water holds memories, so a lot of your memories and past lives are currently stirred up in your energy bodies, and literally the movement, the intensity from these memories, because you might be suppressing them for some reason, they're starting to pollute you. You're supposed to get them out, you're supposed to transmute and and seize a cycle, basically for yourself. I'm seeing a lot of insectoid guides, cosmic beings working with you. From what I've seen in my meditations, the insectoid beings, or at least that's how they look energetically for whatever reason, maybe because the human mind doesn't have an interpretation for something very far out there for very high consciousness, so we use maybe the weirdest or the most misunderstood, even in appearance, being to represent that high consciousness. Maybe that's why we view them to be insectoid-like, but I don't think they are. It's just how the human brain interprets psychic downloads and data. But you guys might be seeing these insectoid guides, or you might have a lot of insects coming to your door. But from what I've seen in meditations, they are usually guardians of information and what I call the Akashic records. So this the host of learning here could be very much the host of the Akashic records, and I feel like they are trying to plug you in there in order to free you, but for some reason you guys are on two paths, and freedom is not always filled with instantaneous joy. I mean, it's good at the end of the day, but it's not always easy, and you might be wondering, should I free myself and face the truth and like really face reality, or do I just want to enjoy my life for the time being? So you're hesitating to really get to work with your mission, because some things, some truths can be too much. As I said, too overwhelming. They really stir up once again these past life memories, and the past life memories basically show you how you are involved with this reality. How did you contribute to the good and the bad in this reality? What is your responsibility? All of these things. When we remember past lives, we basically see karmic behaviors, patterns, where we're holding ourselves back and where we should grow more, where we should push ourselves to grow more. And the insectoid beings, or these high consciousness beings, they've been plugging you into a hole of information, a field in the Akashic records that you may not be ready to see. And on the other hand, I would definitely be confident to say that you have also Pleiadian energy working with you, trying to show you the joy of awakening in spirituality and seeing the truth. But yeah, the bigger task that you're supposed to handle right now is really working here. What activations is pile one receiving? Stellar gateway activation, infinite potential and manifestation vortex. Wings of Isis. Stellar gateway activation. It's your galactic heritage that is coming through your downloads. The teachings coming from your galactic heritage. Yes, I'm really getting Alcyon here. I'm hearing summoning star energy. when you receive these stellar gate activations, when you receive energy from different stars, somehow it has an influence on the physical body, and that's normal. And I feel like so far you've been getting very intense solar flares, if you will, waves from Alcyon, specifically directed to your consciousness, to your soul group here on Earth. And those of you who have been getting this Alcyon influence, your bodies are starting to feel almost like you just want to melt. It's difficult to hold yourself tight and stable and on the ground and to hold yourself together. By the way, we have thought here and then we have learning. So yeah, Mercury, thought the Atlantean is an ascended master coming through, as well as Isis and the mantis or the insectoid beings. You're becoming very receptive to the gate locations on Earth, special gate sites. You're becoming very sensitive to the vortices opening up. And again, you might be called to certain locations, or you might be called to specific vortex places and sites and gate sites. Because it's almost like something inside of you wants to push itself out to get out of you. But you're always under pressure, but it's never intense enough to get it out, if you get what I mean. This thing, this emotion or this information, this energy that you're supposed to get out of your body, get out of your energy system, the pressure of the star codes that you're receiving is never strong enough where you live. What occult abilities are you developing? I'm hearing your teachers are very bright, very blinding. It's hard to see. Yeah, these beings you're communicating with, I cannot really tune into them, but all I'm getting is bright light. But you can tune into them because they're coming up for you. So I don't know what type of system you've developed, but you really have this ability to communicate with the stars, like with the consciousness of the stars, and that's a big deal because every star is this huge library and an energy source and a very, very bright ascended being. Flight demigoddess. I think you are recalling lifetimes where you were traveling in space, or you were traveling through your light body, and you used your connection with the stars to fuel yourself with energy, whether you fueled a ship or your astral body to travel wherever you wanted to, or whether you were able to use the stars to uh, relocate your astral body somewhere very, very far. Very far in frequency, I mean, in dimension. Yes, it's like the wings of Isis are a symbol for you being taught how to fly, metaphorically fly, and translating the metaphor to teleport, to, as I said, bilocate, um, somewhere in a higher dimensional space. So I think that your guides are primarily, I'm sorry, working with you on developing your Merkaba control, your spiritual body mechanics, if you will. They're being advanced. But when this is taking place, it's very intense on the physical body, and we may feel like we just want to crawl out of our skin. Things don't feel right. Hold on. Oh, I have a really interesting vision from inspired by this oracle card of you filled with joy and laughing while riding a snake or a Chinese dragon or something, and this is a representative of the spirit taking over the reptilian mind. And when this happens is when psychic abilities really open up. So this is about releasing any addiction to the physical pleasures. Now, don't get me wrong, they're nothing bad. It's just that some things have been numbing you, and I think you know. And I feel like some of you, oh, I'm hearing you should stop reading and you should start channeling more. Listen, you guys are being hooked or linked into a stellar library. This is not just the consciousness of the planets, the collective consciousness or whatever. You're linked straight to the truest, purest library in any solar system, and that is the sun, the star of the system. And you've been working on your astral body, on your spiritual body, to be able to withhold the intensity of the light, to be able to locate into these quote unquote libraries or halls of learning. Because I keep seeing these geometric configurations in your etheric body that are supposed to maybe you know, maybe that's why you have also so much water. It's kind of like so much of the water element metaphorically, symbolically illustrated in your etheric bodies, because it's kind of like if you go into a star, you don't want to burn out, so you have a lot of juice. So that's why your physical body might actually hold water at this time. Or as I said, you might feel heavier, you might be you should be actually drinking a lot of water at this time, because you know, after all, the material is basically the manifestation of spirit. So drinking water can actually also support your spiritual bodies. They are connected. Eventually they connect. You have the spiritual first, it expresses itself in a material form, and then that material form can also influence the spirit, much to a much lesser degree, but still. So basically you might be like holding water in your body and things like that, because you guys are traveling through these stellar gateways. You're visiting stars to pull information from the stars, and you're communicating with very, very bright light beings. So you need to not burn yourself. What abilities are you developing in style 1? Already, okay. So I want to discuss especially this one card. This is when I was studying this oracle, I still haven't studied all of the cards, but anyways, this one particularly was a special tool that is used to demonstrate the let's say universal movement, the dynamic of the universe, the movement of planets, energy, things like that. It's a bit of an abstract definition, I know, but what I'm getting intuitively, this is basically a way to measure the universal movement, and it's connected to this ability to master your environment, the material plane, and time. So basically time and space, to be able to master these. And you guys have a correlation here with the manifestation vortex, infinite potential. So what I feel has been, what was that? Anyways, what I feel has been gifted to you as an ability, as a power, psychic power, spiritual power, is this ability to maybe even intuitively, subconsciously, measure the appropriate moment to manifest something, measure the appropriate thing you need to manifest. And also, this is working with Saturn, but the higher aspect of Saturn, because every planet has a lower and higher manifestation of consciousness. And Saturn, in its low manifestation of consciousness, is all the one of the struggles we experience here on Earth: the matrix, the control, the restrictions of freedom. Freedom, you guys have freedom. So I feel like you've been working with a higher aspect of Saturn in order to access this solar consciousness. But first you had to transpass, in a way, this time and space in the 3D, and even 4D, like a couple of dimensions, honestly, because usually what we see materialize and what we see going on is not just one dimension. It's usually the five senses, the five human senses usually perceive a couple of dimensions, and they just each correlate to sort of different layers, but they're one experience of time and space. And then you have another pile or coupled layers of dimensions, and they create the next level of experiencing time and space. So it's not like you're in 3D and then you are in 4D and then you are in 5D. In fact, second, third, and fourth dimension are very compressed together, and they are one level of experiencing your consciousness and experiencing your environment. And I feel like you guys have been working with, I'm feeling Saturn. I'm also feeling Mercury. We already mentioned thought, because Mercury rules tools and science and measurement and explaining in a logical way the universe, basically life, the principles guarding the universe. So I think you guys have been working with actual tools. This could be from etheric technology, like etheric plants, implants, excuse me, etheric implants in your body, using maybe etheric crystalline technology in your spiritual body to activate your Merkaba, to heal certain parts of yourself. All of these things, I feel like you guys can work with the vision of a tool. You don't need the actual physical tool, but you can create tools. Like you can create, you can visualize tools and use them in the spiritual plane, and they will work for you. And also this ability to really to learn how to chart a matrix, to learn how to chart a time and space experience. That's why working with Saturn, which is the governor of time, the guardian keeper of time and space in the matrix, working with this planet will give you the tools, which usually equal wisdom and knowledge, but as I said, also the spiritual tools you can envision to create your own matrix, create something like a bubble that, you know, it's yours and it fits your needs, and transcends duality or the lower manifestation of the matrix. You can create a higher matrix, basically. I think that's one of the gifts that you're accessing, and this is one of the teachings that you guys are being given at this time. So if you let go of the water, of the addiction, of the unknown, of the fear, of the memories that can suffocate you or that can be overwhelming, if you let go of that load and that heavy weight, you will be able to transcend the density. But as I said, drinking water, like connecting with your water element, perhaps creating a more healthy connection with it. Now, the water element can be addiction, imagination, escapism. So working with your water element to make friends, to bring health, to nurture yourself, and to basically nurture yourself while you work within the host of a star, the Akashic libraries of a star. You will need that water supply for the time being. So this is the connection I see here between this card and this one. You guys can really envision symbolically any tool, any object that means something to you, and have operations spiritually, energetically, and create activations on your own energetically. Ten of Swords. Yes, absolutely healing. Your healing cycle has ended. Your guardians are watching over you, and they see that you've taken enough and there's nothing else that you can go through really. So they're kind of protecting you while you're being vulnerable. Don't be afraid to get vulnerable and heal at this time, and to just open up and maybe even take off the bandage from your wounds. It may hurt a little, but see how they're doing. Do they need extra treatment, extra oils or whatever? This is of course just a metaphor once again, but yeah, maybe certain things need to be looked at once more before you completely close the cycle and heal from them. But oh boy, now that I'm looking at the cards, I feel like this one is particularly giving me one message, and that is that some of you have gone spiritual operations by your guides, and yeah, it will feel different being in your body. The Tower and the Judgment card. What once ended is being resurrected. But I'm not sure why. This is so interesting. It's almost like an energetic leftover of you from the past is brought back, and you're looking at yourself from the past. You're looking at an energy blueprint you left in time and space that is still somehow linked to your future and still somehow influencing your future. So I don't know what type of procedure or operation, quote unquote, you're going to execute on that energy double, but yeah, I feel like something here is going on. So I want to get into it a bit deeper, but I think I'm gonna do that in an extended reading, because yeah, it's just it's gonna take a lot of energy and quite a lot of time. So yeah, I'll probably do extended to this pick a card, so watch for the link in the description box or the comment section underneath the stamp cannot speak anymore, the timestamp for your pile, and I'll see you in your extended if you're interested to hear more about this pile one. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know and I'll see you there. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So let's see what psychic abilities you guys are unlocking. Those of you who chose the Snowflake Obsidian or the Arcanum Tarot or both, welcome. So let's get into it. Immediately I'm having a vision of a tiger. It looks bluish, however. It doesn't look, yeah, it's almost like a spirit guide rather than the symbolism of the animal itself, because it looks abstract in my vision. So it comes from the spiritual realm, not the physical, this tiger. What spiritual psychic abilities are being activated within you? Where are you on your journey? Let's see. Multidimensionality. So you guys the tiger could be guiding you through many different origins, and you realize how many different places of origin you can embody at the same time, or you can switch, but you don't need to be attached to just one or two places. You can be a very colorful being. Oof. Whoa. Okay. So, presence. Okay. And reflection. Oh, interesting. We have 30, 32, and 33. Reflection. So, the energy of presence supports our ability to focus our full attention and stay in here and now. Crazy, because you have multidimensionality, being in a lot of places, being a lot of people at the same time. And then you have presence, being here and now, focused, centered, and so on and so forth. And then you have reflection, our growth through the insights we get from the contemplations of self and others. Then you have reflection. It's like from the vast spreaded identity, you come into one, you center yourself into a very intense one point, and then you split into, and then you have the polars, the polar opposites, I mean. You have a mirror then. Ooh, mirror dimensions. You guys are traveling through, I feel, some interesting places, spiritually, energetically. I don't know if some of you dream of mirrors or you've been working with mirrors, but I feel like scrying with glass surfaces, with a mirror surface, can help you get downloads and visions and information. I'm also picking up on the Hindu gods. I'm picking up on Vedic mythology, if I'm correct. Hindu or Vedic mythology, I think they are one. But if I am not correct, someone please, help me out. But yeah, because I'm seeing the blue-skinned deities coming through. Oh, I'm having an interesting vision once again. You guys are meditating or something, but I see you lifting up from the ground, and I see this terrain with rocks and buildings in the background, very far into the background, trees, and it's all lifted up from the ground, like there's no gravity. So something about denying gravity. For some of you, this can be actual telekinesis, moving objects with your mind, or at least some of you are practicing. I'm seeing a corridor, and I'm hearing, and it's all black, with orange lines kind of marking the trajectory, the path through that corridor. So you have a sense of orientation in it. And I'm hearing that it's a passage. It's a passage between incarnations. It's a bridge. Some of you guys are tuning into first of all, I want to see the future of the planet, but others, I feel like, are tuning into these future timelines when there are big groups of people leaving the planet and big groups of souls coming onto the planet. I'm hearing regression. Your field of expertise and powers can be the field of regression, because I feel like I'm literally looking through your eyes and I find myself in this corridor and a lot of souls are moving through it, and it's peaceful. It's very peaceful because you move through the corridor knowing why you come in a certain time and why you go out in a certain time. And it's like there is a mirror and there is another corridor where souls come through, and you look at on the other side and you see the souls coming on earth while you're leaving, and they're smiling like they're telling you, we all know the plan, you know why we're coming, we're gonna prepare it for you. So you have a special connection with the past generations, perhaps even artists or just people with a very vast and meaningful purpose here on planet Earth, memorable people. You might have literally encountered them because they knew the plan, they knew why they came in, the indigos, and you guys feel more like a warrior of light and love, not necessarily the rebellious type, but more so it's time to fight with love and peace. And you know how the previous generations prepared the ground, the soil for you to come through. And part of this plan was for you to be able to use your abilities. So I'm getting that you guys are surrounded by guides who are basically very encouraging to develop your psychic abilities for those who have been a bit lazy with that, because there's been a great preparatory work done before you came on Earth. And you came in ancient times, you left, there was another wave that had to rebel and destroy and open up, basically kind of crack the gate towards a higher reach of consciousness on Earth, so that when you come, you can start developing these abilities of yours. And I think regression is one of your abilities, because for some reason you have a very special connection to the passage gates or tunnels for souls that leave the planet and that enter the planet. And I feel like you can do regression and progression. I feel like you can channel spirits and souls that will incarnate. You can channel spirits and souls that will become children maybe of your clients or something, and vice versa. You can also channel the past, their ancestors. So you really are mixing, bridging the future and the past and how they're connected. So you guys have a very pure knowledge about the big plan, the greater plan. Okay. For some of you, music is part of your psychic abilities. You're able to create activation through music. Because I'm looking at this card and I'm almost seeing a beat, the vibration when there's very strong beat, very loud. It echoes in your body. You can feel it physically as well. Okay, I'll pull a couple more cards. I'll see. Oh. Amazing. Thought, light codes. Pile number 1 had thought as well, but it was more an indirect influence. But for you guys, thought is coming through like instantaneously and very directly. Light initiation, great teacher awakening, and divine magic. Yeah, I would definitely say that magical abilities are opening, but the thing is with multidimensionality, I feel like you'll be mixing the psychological aspects of the development of the brain with magical phenomenon, unexplicable spiritual phenomenon. I'm getting, if I have to talk about star systems, and where you come from and where your abilities come from, I'm really picking up on Andromeda. I'm really picking up on the ability to see simultaneously a lot of timelines, almost calculate them, see the outcomes, see the purpose, the lessons, the teachings. Start being healing codes. Important information, wounds are healed, recharging. Yes, you guys feel just very much not from here. Literally existing in a lot of places at the same time, and in a way we owed you, but you might be able to have some control over it. You might be able to communicate with your multidimensional aspects, which not everyone can do. You might be able to perceive them. You might be able to live a couple of lives at the same time, consciously, maybe of course not 100% all the time aware of every other existence of yours, but you might get very clear visions or premonitions on other dimensions where you guys reside consciously and basically live in many places, fulfill many roles. You're supposed to be a lot of things, but I'll really stick to regression. I'm really picking up on it. And you may think that this is not a psychic ability, but I feel like in order to use regression to communicate with the many aspects of the soul of the person you're working with, you have to have your mind, your consciousness tuned in certain ways, into certain frequencies. And that's a psychic ability in its own. But yeah, really the strongest one I was getting was channeling the healing codes through music, as well as actual telekinesis, moving objects. And you may start off by moving energy, practicing using your hands, practicing the power in your hands to move energy, to direct energy, could be the beginning steps for you. And with that ability to move energy, I feel you can move or push consciousness. You can create something like a map, an energy map that the mind of a person can follow, and you can guide it through a labyrinth of memories from past lives and things like that. You can guide it also to maybe healing, spiritual matrices or chambers, if you will. You can just navigate the soul of a person, and help it move. Also, if there are spirits stuck somewhere, you can create this tunnel of with a guiding light in it that the soul can really follow, so it gets out of any trap, or it is able to shift to a specific dimension. That's why your own multidimensionality can be applied and used to help other souls. And that's one of your, I don't want to even say psychic abilities, although it is, but I want to say a starseed gift, a spiritual gift. It's like you create capsules, or once again, safety nets, safety tunnels that the souls can use without getting sucked by a vortex, by a chaotic dimension or astral plane aspect. You can keep the spirit and the mind safe and protected, and keep it following its trajectory, the one you created actually. So mapping, using grids, using maps, this is somehow involved with your psychic work. And I'm also thinking how you can use music to create a specific melody to liberate, and then guide, and then heal, and then guide some more. Like, you can create this sort of journey for the spirit, for the soul, and be able to focus it, be able to make the spirit very present here and now, and save it, pull it away from the chaos, pull it away from the distortion and the confusion, And I think that's very powerful, and it's very good for doing regressions and doing anything like that with the psyche of a person. Your voice, um, your tone is able to keep a person centered and present. Some of you could be musicians, other could be hypnotherapists, other could be ASMR artists. Anything involving your voice and like guiding someone to move in a certain way, to feel in a certain way. This is your ability. I think this can, on the negative side, can also make you very, very manipulative, because you can literally guide where the mind would go. You create this pattern that the mind would follow, and you trigger it, and it goes down that path you created, and eventually it ends exactly where you intended it to. So you can be great manipulators if you want to, but I highly recommend you use that power for the highest good of yourself and others. You know, with your reflection, what I'm getting is, if you use your abilities or any of your skills, honestly, for something nasty, for something bad, trying to get revenge, I feel like you're the type of souls who cannot handle karma. You are not here to create karma, so you will instantly experience repercussions, so be careful. Calendar stone. Yes. Homunculus. Okay. Explorer of worlds. You guys really, you travel and visit worlds to collect data about other places in order to have the best agenda for Earth. I'm hearing you've witnessed how a lot of worlds developed and collapsed. You've witnessed a lot of the cycles. One psychic ability, or more so, psychic intunement that you guys have naturally, is living outside of time. You're using more of a galactic or, celestial calendar, and you're having a more transcendental experience of time. Psychic abilities. I'm hearing something here, and I'm a bit hesitant if I should share it or not, but remember when I said mirrored realities? And I stopped at that because I wasn't sure. I had a vision, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was. I think now the information kind of decoded a bit more, because now I'm hearing phantom realities. You have access to timelines and versions and phantom realities that are a reflection of certain, multidimensional outcomes. Like, they just reflect the many, many possibilities, the many, many potentials. And I think you guys can travel in meditation to these realities. And the phantom realities, they're really debris, fractals, aspects, just pieces of torn matrices, destroyed matrices. They're the ghost of something that once existed, but it no longer does. But it's still deep, 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 deep into the memory of the universe. I mean, nothing that ever exists is being erased or fully disappears. It always, at least sometimes, the memory of it remains, but the thing itself has been transmuted, it has been transformed, but like the memory of its previous state exists. And it's not real, and no life can occur in it. There is no spiritual energy in it, so there's no life force in it, but the memory is there. And I just feel like you naturally have a lot of knowledge about many worlds and many different places. And part of your mission, I believe, is to keep humanity, or at least those that you come in contact with, on track. Your psychic ability is to sense when someone is slipping into a Bordeaux chaotic astral plane, when someone is really losing it, and you're able to pull them back into reality. You're able to pull them back into presence. Helping the lost spirits, the lost souls, find their way back. And I feel like a lot of you do this in trance or dream state, and that's not. Now, you can, of course, do it consciously if you want to, and you can do regressions and work with people and so on and so forth. But a lot of this work will not be conscious of you, and you will do it without trying to, or without working on it. It's just what you do when you sleep, honestly. Um, so in a way, it's not an ability that you can actively work on to improve. Of course you can if you want to, but it's not required or very necessary out of you to do. Another ability of yours is light language or galactic language. You're able to express somehow vocally the language of different beings. You can write it down. You can also express it through, as I said, vocals, like tones, and maybe singing, maybe chanting. So if you've ever thought that maybe you can use this for healing, please do it. Please do so. about you? Six of Pentacles. Yeah, you're helping people. You guys are helpers. Your psychic abilities are totally targeted towards help. Knight of Cups. And Hangman. This to me is about mediumship. Mediumship, allowing people to know what's happening with their loved ones. But some of you are afraid of this ability, some of you are afraid of developing it, you don't necessarily want to work on it. And for some of you, you don't want people you love to be afraid of your intensity once you tune into your psychic abilities. A lot of you deny or decide not to indulge too much, or at least share with people. A lot of the work you do is private for a reason. So, pile 2, because I promised pile 1, I'll create an extended for them. I will do the same for you guys. I hope you would be interested in that. Let me know. The link would be underneath the timestamp for your pile. And yeah, in the extended we'll look at more details, just more messages. I'll be using the contact cards to contact your galactic team. And you know, kind of dig into your history, because your origins, your history, they will have a lot to do with your abilities. Okay, so yeah, we'll be diving into this. And if you decide not to join me in the extended portion, that's okay. I hope you resonated with this. I hope it gave you clues and it clarified certain confusions around your spiritual experiences. Let me know, and I'll talk to you soon. And my next pick a card, or the extended, or both. See you soon, pile 2. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the Heaven and Earth Tarot, or this beautiful stone. Let's see what psychic abilities are you guys developing at this time. Union. Number 44. 44 is a special number. Sixth chakra. I love that we finally have a chakra coming up. This is the third eye. So, I feel like you guys are uniting your five senses with your sixth sense, and overall with the sixth chakra, or the third eye chakra, I feel like you are working on everything simultaneously. Clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairaudience, just being and becoming psychic. There isn't one particular gift. I feel like you're opening all of them at the same time. Union, honestly, for some reason I'm staring at the word, but I'm not getting the meaning of union. I'm more so getting like everything unlocking at once, everything working together. Oh no, before I grab the tarot, I'm going to pull from this deck. Sixth chakra. I'm hearing pagan culture, pagan mythology, pagan rituals. I'm also hearing Syrian starseeds are in this pile. Temple of Truth. Throat chakra, authenticity and self-expression. I love it. We have the third eye and the throat chakra. A lot of you are awakening because of union telepathy, because you are connecting a lot with other people. You're learning how to connect on a spiritual level. You're also, I feel, getting a twin flame activation, a soulmate activation. There are people in your life that will come and awaken you, okay, pile 3? And I feel like you are awakening special, I want to say, for those of you who understand astrology, Libra abilities, because you're awakening a lot of psychic abilities connected to relationships, connected to exchange with another person, exchange of energy, data, information, whatever, with another person. Another individual is involved in your psychic experiences. Oopsie. Stargate heart chakra opening, unlocking generosity. Wow, so far we have, like, you are the only pile that has chakras coming through. You have the heart, the throat, and the third eye. This is a huge pillar, and it's interesting because the throat is the portal or the place of union between the sixth and the fourth chakra, between the third eye and the heart. The tongue and the muscle of the tongue connects your third eye, your vision, with your heart space. And the connection happens especially when you express. Because think of it this way. At the beginning of time, there was sound. You know, you can see it in many spiritual texts. At the beginning of time, there was speech, sound, the logos, words, music, tones, frequency. Then you have color, and then you have the rest of manifestation happening. But basically, with the third eye, you have the idea, the spiritual download, the impulse. The heart chakra is something like the compass that guides the third eye. Through the heart, you tune into a higher or a lower spiritual plane. Okay, so the third eye is just an antenna, but the heart allows it to have a conscious tuning into a field. We do that through the heart, not through the mind, because the mind is dualistic. So you cannot think yourself into light or into a specific place or a specific dimension. You cannot think yourself into a specific akashic record. You use the heart. The heart is the organ that allows you to be centered, to be one, and to basically, it checks your vibe. Okay, it's a vibe check. It's also the chakra that realigns you with your higher self. So we need this moral spiritual compass to be able to use our third eye for the highest good and for in an appropriate way. And then through the throat chakra, you manifest your spiritual downloads, you manifest your higher self's intelligence and guidance and wisdom. Through the throat chakra, you speak it into existence, or you just share it with the world, whoever needs it. So the throat is the temple of truth because it uses these two, it connects these two. And this is beautiful because I feel like you were psychic before you were emotionally healthy. And becoming emotionally healthy, getting in check your feelings, your heart space, will make you psychic for the better. It will prevent you from having difficult psychic experiences, or, maybe even, don't want to spook any of you, but maybe even darker psychic experiences. When the heart is active, when the heart is present in your psychic work, it's your best way to protect yourself. And when these two connect, this is when you speak truth, right? Through the throat chakra. You manifest truth. You live in authenticity. Because when the mind and the heart are in a battle, there's no union, there's no harmony between those, the mind can easily be taken over by other spirits and beings. And I feel like because you were very psychic and very sensitive to these things, before you started to heal, you experienced the nasty side of spirituality and the astral plane, but now it's getting so much better. I'm hearing the universe will provide you, or has already provided you, with wise teachers, and again, people that will make you check in with your heart space every time you have a spiritual experience. Another psychic ability of yours is to really speak the truth and say exactly what people need to hear. Sometimes people may not like to hear what you have to say, but it's almost like you still say it anyways, and it's part of your purpose. And I know about discernment, I know about, not talking about a subject before the student is ready. All of these things are valid. It's not nice to force the truth upon someone who is not ready, because you might hurt them. But for you guys, I feel like it's almost part of your purpose to just be truthful. Be truthful no matter what. Never lie. Never lie, never deceive. Use your psychic abilities to tune into the heart of other people, to see their truth, to see their true heart. You also have the sense to recognize the essence of the soul. Is this a good soul? Is this a soul with a lot of karma? Is this a soul with a very toxic agenda? Because, the higher self, to some degree, can also get, in my opinion, tinted. It can get traumatized, it can get manipulative. I don't think the duality is only within human nature. I don't think duality is only within us. I think in the higher realms you can see it as well. So I feel that there are people who are good human beings and good spirits, good souls, and I think that there are people who have a very heavy higher self and they do struggle. Of course, not everyone who struggles is bad in spirit or whatever. Not at all. In fact, it's oftentimes the quite opposite. But I just believe that there are people who don't have pure souls, they don't have good soul, and that's that. It's my belief system, so you don't need to agree with me. But basically, I think you have a really strong ability to tell if someone's spirit is having good intentions towards you or not. If someone's soul, someone's higher self is being manipulated or not. You can tell the purity of a person spiritually. Okay. Oh wow. Head of Medusa, and I cannot really read this. Eldritch Sump, I believe. I hope I'm correct. Anyways, so these are cards of the deck that I have not studied. So I will quickly look at the guidebook, although let me first go at this intuitively and then I'll look at the guidebook to just get extra, more objective messages outside of my, sometimes filtered, obviously, through my experiences perception. Now, the both cards have this circular sphere type of shape, and I see it also here and here, and not all of these cards have spheres. As you can see, this one, for example, is not necessarily a sphere, but here we have only circles. Here we have the flower of life, still circles. Here we don't have circles, we have triangles. Why I'm showing you this is because I just want you to see that the deck is diverse, and I just find it funny how all of these are circular. Also, these colors and these colors are matched, as well as these. I hope you can see it. Is it just me? Oh god, I hope you can see it as well. The head of Medusa, in astrology, the star that represents the head of Medusa is Algol, and Algol is a very heavy star. It's like a blinking eye of the head of Medusa, right? So it's a malefic star. It's located in the constellation of Taurus. In the natal chart, like Medusa is always Algol is always, I believe, 28 or so degrees Taurus, in Western astrology at least. So my association with Medusa is through the mythology about her, the betrayal, the pain, the rejection. Okay, let's meditate on it. The guides that you guys communicate with are oftentimes spirits that show up in a sphere-like shape. Orbs. I'm hearing these are special, independent beings. They don't belong to a group, they don't belong to an agenda, they are not labeled, they have no name. And there's a reason why they don't like to be labeled, named, or assigned to a nation of some kind. They're free, they reside in a lot of different dimensions, they connect with a lot of different nations, is what I'm getting. They're simply guides, is what I'm seeing. And it's what they're kind of communicating. Not just with vision, they're just giving the information out. Yeah, they're very informative guides. So you guys definitely work with them, and that's how you know a lot of things without learning necessarily, without knowing how you know. But definitely with the head of Medusa, sometimes your knowledge can be um, shocking to your public, to your audience, to the people you communicate with. These guys are saying they've been with you ever since you were a baby. Two main guides I'm seeing. And what they're saying is some of you had abilities when you guys were children, but these guides slowed your development down because your abilities could have gotten you in trouble. You could have become a target of some kind. That is the head of Medusa. Being targeted, beheaded, metaphorically beheaded, hurt, just harmed because of how good you are at something, because of how natural you were at something. You are, in a sense, a hidden treasure that they keep for a very specific time frame and for a very specific mission. But again, with the head of Medusa and the third eye, I definitely feel like you guys can see the ugly and the pretty on a spiritual level. You can see it all. You can see through duality. You see dualistically. I mean, you can see both sides. That's what I meant. Because you can handle it, and sometimes you may feel like you cannot handle the intensity of your spiritual abilities, you know, being active and open and receptive. But if you are experiencing these things, you are capable, you are ready, you always were ready, in fact. Queen of Wands. Okay, right, let me check the guidebook of these cards. It's online, so I have to look at my tablet really quickly. So let's see. Rodriguez. Okay. So the head of Medusa Okay, yeah. The head of Medusa in the deck is a sign for those who encounter it, especially if you've ever if that symbol ever presents itself to you somehow through movies, books, music, a picture or a reference in a book, you see it outside as some sort of statue or something, I don't know. If you encounter her symbolism, it's a warning to hold, to take pause, because again, she holds very, very intense truth, her serpent's dew, and looking into her eyes turns you into stone. So I feel like some of you could have had some quite fear-inducing experience that blocked your abilities, and perhaps before you rush into reactivating them, something when you were a kid might have taken place that blocked your abilities to protect you. So rushing to reactivate them could be it could be triggering. So be careful, you guys. Be careful with really diving, especially with your third eye meditations, into things you may not understand. This one card is about the lurking life at the bottom of the ocean, at the deep, deep, deep bottom. So you guys are getting, you guys can really get at the bottom of a person, I feel. You can really see their demons, you can really see their traumas. So take it slow, take it easy. Empathy is definitely huge for you, and it influences your mind, it messes up with your mind. So with the Queen of Wands, boundaries, I think I told this to pile 2 as well. Boundaries, protection. Because you dive very deep into places you don't know what awaits you there. You don't know what energies await you, what experiences. I'm honestly feeling a lot of underworld activity. Yeah, Queen of Cups and the Justice card. So Queen of Wands and Queen of Cups, fire and water, 2 very powerful queens. Maybe the most spiritual ones. And the Justice card. You need to reside in the light as much as you reside in the shadows. And by residing in the shadows, I'm not intending, I'm not implying that you're doing something bad or evil or whatever, but more so the shadow work aspect of your healing journey. Maybe you've been diving way too deep into it, and it needs to be balanced. It definitely needs to be balanced. I'm hearing you guys are vessels. Your vessels for angelic frequency, for angelic pure light. I'm hearing vessels for higher order. You are here to bring spiritual order. And you are definitely astral warriors. but you need to know when to take rest from this battlefield because it's intense. And you guys have Libra, and what did I say? Your abilities are very Libra-like because they really activate inner relationships. You heal people that you entered a relationship with. But who heals you? Okay, you've been giving away a lot of your energy, and I feel like you've been depleted one way or another, creatively or spiritually. The Magician. I think the abilities you guys are awakening, unlocking, are manifestation. You've been very much into the inside oriented journey. You've been going inward for so long. It's time to go out. I know this may sound a bit strange coming from someone who is supposedly, I say supposedly because people just assume different things, but coming from someone who is supposed to be spiritual and all that, I'm telling you to go outwards. Like, stop going in because you guys need to express, you guys need to start giving life to the things you've been conjuring up psychically as ideas, imagination, thoughts. All of these things should come out of you, should be expressed. So that there is balance, okay? And I feel you have been really focusing on, again, healing other people, healing yourself, and it's been just constantly this in energy, this feminine energy, and it needs to be expressed. But I feel like overall, the only warning is to stop going so deep, okay? Because you may go into things you're not ready for. You need experience to prepare for what's next on your psychic development journey. That's why externalize, manifest, gain that experience, do the work outside of your meditation or just isolation, create, put things out there, and there will come a time once again when you will turn back inward and work on yourself. But as of now, you are ready to come together with another person and exchange knowledge, exchange experience, basically express yourself and manifest things. You have a great ability to project your imagination into existence. Also, I feel like right now you're very much manifesting a soulmate. You're manifesting coming together with people. It's what you're pulling into your reality. The more active you become, the more your latent gifts at the bottom of the ocean will come to the surface. So pile 3, I'll be doing an extended portion to this reading. We'll be using the contact cards to connect with your galactic team, your spirit guides, and it will basically deepen the messages here. So I hope you join me there. If not, you can always support me in other ways. You can like, share, subscribe. And I just hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comment section, definitely, if you resonated. And yeah, how are you guys doing? I'm curious. So that's all I have for you as of now, and I'll see you in my next pick a card. Bye.